guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited today. We are doing something that I miss doing so much. I can't remember like the last one of these we did. We are doing a live swatching video of the brand new Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. Oh yeah. I'm excited because I miss doing this. I'm not excited because you know how I feel about purple. But I tried to really get into it today. I put in some cute little hair clips. This seems to be the trend right now. I feel dumb as shit wearing these right now, but you know. So if you're new to my channel, if you're new to my live swatching videos, basically what I do is I try every single eyeshadow on my eyes so you guys can see how each shade looks, how it applies. It's just fun. I don't know, it's just freaking fun, and I love seeing every single color. In today's video, and something I do want to start doing with smaller collections or single palettes, I want to do a tutorial, a first impressions tutorial, as well as the eye swatches. So we're going to do a really quick look with this palette, kind of get a feel for the shadows, how they work together, and then we'll get into the eye swatches afterwards. Again, you guys know how I feel about purple. It's not my favorite, and you all tell me that I love purple. I don't love purple, okay? And it doesn't matter that I geek out every time I see a beautiful purple. It means nothing. It really doesn't. I'm trying to cope with the fact that maybe I like purple. I don't know what it is. You guys know my thing with purple. It's a mess. I will say this is like the prettiest naked palette packaging ever. I don't know if you will be able to tell on camera, but I hate when I'm watching videos and people say, I don't know if you can tell on camera, like, and I just said it, that drives me crazy. It's like foiled inside, a really pretty blue and purple foil underneath this plastic covering, and it looks really, really cool. I wish they'd get away from the plastic though, I will say. I much prefer a cardboard palette, I do. I think it's probably, it ends up, you know, being more cost effective, better for the environment. First impressions, this is my first time opening this palette up, actually, at all. First impressions, I don't know. I'll tell you right now, I hate Euphoric, Cyberpunk, Warning, Digital, Dazed, a decent amount. Let's just get into the tutorial as I kind of talk about how I feel about Urban Decay. I love Urban Decay. Let's get into it. Hold on. I have to talk about some stuff. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Let me zoom these beautiful bitches in. Get in here. Come here. Group hug. Hi. Oh, God. I'm fighting getting Botox or filler or anything so hard. I really don't want to, and I never want to until I sit down here and I zoom in and I see my face on this stupid computer, and I'm like, oh wow, I could really use a little plumpy in here, couldn't I? So first, I want to go into the shade Hacked. This looks nice. My thing with Urban Decay, and I will say this palette is a prime example. I feel a lot of these shades are very similar to a lot of shades they've already put out in previous palettes, and I'm talking even way back when to when they had single eyeshadows. Way back in the day, they used to look like little like hubcaps or little, I don't know what they look like, but they look car related, I think. They had an urban city vibe. I don't know who is working in their little design department and who is coming up with these things, but I almost just feel like a lot of their products, not all the times, sometimes I've been happily surprised, like with the Cherry palette. It always seems to come back to looking like something they've done in the past. It just looks like regurgitated old Vice palettes all the time. I feel as though they just can't step out of this little Urban Decay Vice palette box that they've been in for so very long. I keep saying that I have one right here. I keep saying the Vice palettes because look at this right here. This was just, I used this recently. This is the Vice, it just says Vice. I don't know why, because there's like 10,000 Vice palettes. Look at these colors. You know, is that not almost the exact half of that bottom palette? A little different, but really close. I love this color, by the way. This is really pretty. Not absolutely unique whatsoever. We've seen it 1,000 times, but it's a nice shade. Side note, I just stopped filming to watch like 40 minutes of Britney Spears videos. No big deal. She's my queen. I worship her. Anyway, if you don't worship Britney Spears, leave the room now. Let's try Digital. It's like, Urban Decay, they cannot break away from what they've been doing for so long, and it hurts, you guys. I love Urban Decay, and I feel like they're letting other brands just surpass them because they won't grow. They won't adapt. They won't change. There was a time when Urban Decay was Urban Decay. They were different. They were innovative. They were, you know, one of the first brands on the market to really start pumping out color and fun. And really, this looks pretty together. I'll give them that. This it looks okay. I want to go into the shade Purple Dust, which I'm nervous about because it's quite shimmery, but maybe it'll look okay. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying these colors aren't gorgeous. They are. They're beautiful. They're really, really nice. But I just think it's the same old, same old. I remember when Urban Decay was the coolest brand at Ulta. I'm going to wet my brush with a little Milani setting spray here, and I'm going to go into Cyberpunk. Yeah, I've seen this exact shade 1,000 times from Urban Decay. I really have. And what's interesting is even with the colors being so vibrant, they almost always are still a little dull. There's something still not super wow about the vibrancy of them. I don't know what it is, I'm telling you. And then just for, I don't know, should we try this one? Just to be like crazy. Let's be wild. I want to go into Lucid, this random mint green in here. I mean, it looks cool with everything, but I don't know. Oh, that's pretty. I'll give them that. Lucid is pretty. You do have to lay, it's a little patchy. You have to layer it well and not use too much water, or don't wet your brush too much because it makes it a little mushy. You have to have like the perfect, just light amount of moisture. I throw on some mascara just to kind of complete it. It's not that the shadows don't perform well. They're standard Urban Decay eyeshadows. If you've ever used an Urban Decay palette, that's exactly what you're gonna get. I mean, it's just the standard formula. So far, not impressed. Let me remove this eye makeup and we will get into the live swatches. Will they save this palette for us? Probably not. Okay, I'll be right back. So now we're going to get into the eye swatches of the Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette. And this shade here reminds me of something Urban Decay already released. Actually, I need to look into that right now. Yes, the Moon Dust shadows. They have a Moon Dust shadow. It's called Solstice. This reminds me of it. It is not a exact dupe whatsoever. It definitely is different. So this first one I don't think will be real exciting. This is Trippin'. But you do hear me say often in videos that if I'm reviewing a palette, I always hate when they lack like a brow bone shade or just a nice light neutral color that people could use for highlighting or just as a base. So I appreciate that they have this shadow in this palette. I really, really do. In my opinion, I just always at least want like one of the basics. Well, there's two basics I always want in every palette. Like a neutral, highlight, brow bone, color you can use for blending or highlighting. And then I always want a deeper matte shade, whether it's a brown or a black, to add dimension. That is the shade Trippin'. The next shade is called Mind Slit. This is a really pretty light peach. I think it could definitely be a little ashy on some people, the way it looks. Depending on your skin tone, I don't know. We'll see how light it actually goes on the lid. You know what? It's not as pastel-y as it looks in the palette. Pastel-y. It's still very light, don't get me wrong. But I do like it. I would use this as a transition. I thought it was going to be much more, like, I don't know, just a really pastel-y peach. And of course, depending on what base you apply it on, it all changes, right? So, you know, always take that into account when you're watching my live swatches. If you use this on top of like a white creamy base, it might be a little more pastel. I just apply it on top of concealer. This is my ColourPop E4 brush, by the way. It's definitely pretty. Just blending that up a little bit. Yeah, I like this shade a lot, actually. I really, really do. I'm interested to see anyone with a deeper skin tone using this palette to see how this shows up on them. I don't know. I wish it was a little more rich, a little more fiery. So there is the shade Mind Slit. Next up, we have the shade Dazed. This looks like it could be pretty. It doesn't look super unique, but we'll give her a go. It's a pretty shade. It's just, I don't know. I guess I can't find the words to how I really truly feel. It's not that these shadows aren't pretty. This is pretty. It's just lacking for me. I just want just a little more oomph. We've seen this 1,000 times over. So there's nothing wrong with it. You could definitely make a pretty look with it. I actually think a lot of people will like this shade, but it's a little on the dull side for me, a little lackluster. And I understand not everyone wants a super fiery, loud eyeshadow, but your Urban Decay, like, come on. If it just had a pop more red, or a little bit better of a flip, I think I would really, really love it. It's just something we've seen 1,000 times over. I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit. Sometimes with these, you know, obviously with these kind of more metallic-y shades, the real magic comes from wetting it. And I will say already, I like it a whole lot better with a wet brush. That gave it a little more oomph for sure. So I do like this color. I wish there was just a hint more fiery red in there to really get it to just wow me. But it's pretty. We've seen it 1,000 times before, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a pretty color. So there is the shade Dazed. Dazed is not a new color, is it? I feel like I've heard Urban Decay Dazed before. No, I guess not. I guess I haven't seen this shade from Urban Decay before. We've seen it somewhere, though. The next shade is Hacked. We used this one in the tutorial, and I rather like this shade. It's actually like my favorite color of all time. I love a good dusty plummy rose, which I guess there's a word for that. It's called mauve, isn't it? I love, 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 love this color. Love, 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 love. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but no, it's not unique. You don't always want like your crease color or your transition color to be super wow anyway. So I'm okay with repeats like this. I'm okay with seeing chocolatey browns and these beautiful mauves and nice transition tones. And I expect those in palettes. I want those in palettes. So it's okay to me that this isn't super unique. We need some more basic shadows to really build a beautiful look with. You can't have all wow. Well, I mean, you can. I think for the average man or woman who's wearing makeup every day, you don't always want to go into the office with, you know, super wow makeup. Like, sometimes it's not appropriate. So I think this is really, really nice. And it does complement the other shadows really, really nicely. So there is the shade Hacked. Alright, I will say this is the shadow I've been most excited to get into. It seems to be the most wow to me, something that really sparks my interest. This is VR. Again, it's the one that I think kind of looks like a moon dust shadow, and actually I can tell by the way my brush is picking it up how it's a little more chunky. It really reminds me of the moon dust formula. I looked online and it does not look like this has been a previous moon dust shadow, unless I completely missed it. Yeah, it is. It's really, really, really sparkly. Definitely more of a chunkier texture. In my opinion, I feel like it could have been a potential moon dust shadow that they didn't think was wow enough, so they stuck it in a palette. I don't know. Or maybe it's just, you know, them kind of working this formula into the palette to get people to maybe look at their moon dust shadows more, because I think that they do or did recently add more moon dust shades, which I love the moon dust formulas. I love them. I love them. I don't use them enough. I gotta break mine out because I miss those. So much fallout with this one. Be careful. Just like the moon dusts, it's very, very, very chunky. Chunky monkey. Oh my god, chunky monkey. I gotta go to 7-Eleven. It's pretty. It definitely is. Their single moon dust shadows are like way more amazing. Like the one I was talking about, Solstice. Like this, Solstice is my life. This is pretty. It's got a, you know, mostly a berry tone all over. And then there's kind of little light green, little light blue sparkle to it. It's gorgeous. It definitely is, but it's hard for me to like this one when I know the moon dust Solstice shadow is so banging. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, eh. I wish, again, this one had even like a really crazy, like bright blue flip to it. It's just something more. It's pretty, but God, I can just only imagine how much better it could have been. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. All right, let's wet the brush because, you know, just like the past sparkly one we did, these are always so much better applied wet. Just really gives it that metallic shine. And I love how they look wet. They're so cool. It's pretty. It is really pretty. I do really like this one. Do I wish there was more of that flip to it, that duochrominess? Yes, I do. It is really pretty, and I would definitely use it again. And actually, I think it would look cool with, let's cheat a little bit. Okay, first of all, here is VR. You know, take a look. And now I really want to jump into Lucid. I know I'm kind of getting ahead of ourselves, and I should have done this in my tutorial now that I'm kind of thinking. I didn't really know where to go when I was first doing that tutorial. I just want to see how this like fuses with Lucid, because that could be cool. And this is almost what I'm saying I wish it had. I wish it had this kind of a more bold blue flip to it. Lucid kind of sucks. It's cool, but I think I'd like Lucid more if it was on like a black base. I think that could be really cool. Yeah, I love those together. I think that's really, really great. If they could have somehow combined VR and Lucid to make one ultra flippy cool shadow, I would have loved that. But you have both in the palette, so that doesn't really matter. You can do it yourself for sure. I'm gonna wet this brush a little bit too. See if I can really get those to melt together nicely to kind of create what I'm wanting. So I will say at least there's that. I can use these two shadows to create what I wish VR would have been. Those do look really, really nice together. This is like exactly what I wish this shadow would have been by itself. I don't know. I really like it. It doesn't matter. I'm just playing around. You guys know how these videos go. I love to play and just kind of experiment as I'm going along. So yeah, I love those two together. Those are really cool. If anything, I will say VR and Lucid and Hacked. These three right here. These babies right here. They are really carrying the palette for me. Those are cool. I almost wish they would have, like, get rid of the fucking purples. I know it's the ultraviolet palette, so I get it. They have to have purples. Now I'm kind of thinking of like a completely different palette, like a Solstice palette. And just take out the effing purples. We're so sick of the Urban Decay purples. And just like focus on shades like this and have a whole palette of just like reds and mauves and grungies and greens and teals. Like just something effing cool. I don't know, man. But I like this. This is pretty. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I want to be done. I'm making tacos. Anyway, next shade is Optimized. I hate this shade. You guys know what I'm talking about. This looks just like every Urban Decay palette we've ever seen. Okay, so going into Optimize, it's okay. It's a weird formula. It's like powdery. It's like, God, I don't know how to describe it. It's not a satin, it's not a sheen, it's not a metallic, it's definitely not a matte though, and it's weird. I don't know how to describe it. I don't like this shadow at all. It's really dry and thin and weird. I don't know. It's no good for me. There's the shade Optimized. Next, let's get into the shade Warning. It's just like the same overall Urban Decay vibe. This vibe never really changes. I would love just one all matte palette from Urban Decay with beautiful, rich color. I feel like they're so stuck in there, like 2010. It's crazy. It's okay. It should be more va-va-voom. I don't know. You guys know I don't like it. So there is the shade Warning. I think we've seen it 1,000 times, and I think it's time to retire this effing color. My God. There is Warning. The next shade is Cyberpunk. This one looks pretty. I like that it's kind of a royal purple. It looks like it could be a little brighter too, which I would really, really love. Yeah, this has some oomph to it. I do like this purple, okay? I like this purple. Ring the alarm, people. This is a big day. Doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like we've seen it 1,000 times over, but it is gorgeous. It's a very rich, beautiful color. Oh, she's pretty. She's pigmented. There's little, not even noticeable flecks of glitter in it. That annoys me too. It's like, why even put them in there? Because they're never going to last on your eye and you can't ever see them again. So the next shade is Euphoric. It's a pretty color. It definitely is a pretty color. It doesn't blow my skirt up. And I think it's, again, just so standard Urban Decay purple. I just want something more. And I don't say this out of hate. The reason why I keep all my Urban Decay palettes is because Urban Decay is really what, like, really just made me embrace color and love trying makeup. And, like, oh my God, it just opened up a whole new world for me. It is what I should credit my channel to now, because all my first big videos were Urban Decay videos. I've been a fan since like 2006. I'm talking like so crazy, so crazy. So I know from being here throughout the years, I've seen these shades 1,000 times over. In 2020, I expect more Urban. I just do. I'm rooting for you. God, I know this video will get me kicked off PR and I'll be sad because I love them to death, but it's time to switch it up. We gotta do something. We gotta do something here. Get back on top. You are Urban Decay. Own that shit, you know? So, I don't know. There's Euphoric. I think we've seen it 1,000 times. It's a pretty color, but again, it's repetitive. So there is Euphoric. This shade I'll say I am excited to get into. This looks a little different. This is called Purple Dust, and I really like that name too. It looks really pretty. I really am hoping I'm not disappointed by it. I like this a lot. I love the depth of it. It's got a nice sparkle to it. It's so deep. It's rich. It's vibrant. I love it. There you go, Urban Decay. This is what I want to see. I love this color. So don't leave no comments saying I just don't like purple. I love this color. This is exactly what I want. This is what I want from all these shades. What an impact. What a beauty there. Oh man, this inspires me. This, I can start thinking of 1,000 things I'd love to do with this color. Like a really cool winged eyeshadow look with just like this and then like super nude face. Oh my God, she is gorgeous. Let's wet the brush a little and see if that makes it any more metallic or anything. Man, oh man. I'll give you this one, Urban Decay. This is beautiful. Yeah, and that kind of just makes it a little more wet, a little more satiny. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is what I want from all these shadows. Everything should have this type of impact. This is sexy. This is just smoky, smoky goodness. Oh my goodness. I'll take back a fraction of what I said about this palette because this purple is beautiful. And last up, you guys, we have the shade Digital. This is pretty. I do like this. Bit of a satin formula. It's a little like dry and kind of like, you kind of really got to dig your brush into it to really get it to start coming up. But I love this color, I do. You know I love a smoky goodness, so. Oh, and pigmented as the day is long. Oh, she's hot. She's hot, hot, hot. Looking gorgeous. I really like the shade. It's not, again, it's not super unique, but that's okay because I like it for this palette. I like the depth that it adds. I would love to do a real smoky eye, big lashes with this look. Even if we, okay, wait, let me do a little still. So this is the shade Digital. What I was about to say is I would love to maybe pop a little Cyberpunk in there. I don't know. Just get a little funky. Get a little funky. That's pretty. They mesh well together. We mesh well. I just don't think that you mesh well. Remember Clueless? That was way harsh, Ty. Pretty. I like it. So real quick here, let's have some final thoughts, shall we? The real standouts in this palette for me, and I won't even necessarily say standouts, but the shades that I appreciate being in the palette and that I do see myself using would be Hacked, VR, Lucid with VR, Cyberpunk, Purple Dust, and Digital. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I literally like half the palette. The rest of the half, they're kind of duds for me. Not really. It's a pretty palette. If you love purple, you'll enjoy this. If you like to experiment, it's a fun, I would say, beginner colorful palette to really get into. Will I use it again? I might play with it a little bit more. I'll say, if anything, when I started these live swatches, I thought this was going to be like a nope. By the end of it, I thought I was going to be tossing this palette. You know what I mean? When I say toss palette, I mean put it on my shelf. Because as you can see, I literally never throw anything away. I will say it's piqued my interest a little bit more. I still think that they can do more. I don't think this is enough. I think they need to join us in 2020 and really like oomph it up. Like, let's get a little wild, Urban Decay. Like, you are Urban Decay. Like, let's see some funkiness. You know what I'm saying? So it's cute. It's pretty standard urban, and that's how I feel. If you like purples, you might really like this palette. I love the packaging. Again, I think the packaging is like the prettiest thing about the whole palette. And I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. I would love to hear when you first clicked on this video. Did you think you would love or hate this palette? And how do you feel after seeing my tutorial and the eye swatches? I really want to know if this video changed your idea about the palette at all. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video today. If you're not subscribed, I would so appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel. Head over to my Instagram, please. I lost a lot of followers, which is fine. It is what it is. Oh, I see more Urban Decay palettes. I'm about to go look and see what other purples I can find. Anyway, follow me on Instagram, thatgirlShayXO, and definitely say hi. I would love to chat with you guys on there, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye!